Hey guys, I'm Dakiri. Thanks for visiting my channel. The purpose of my channel is just to create tips and tricks for ESO. As I discover them, as I continue to play, I'm learning new things. I'm learning add-ons. I'm going to be posting a bunch of videos on tips and tricks and strategies that I have found along the way. They may not be for everyone. They may be wrong in some instances to those more expert players than myself. But I'm really grateful that you're here. Thanks for checking out my channel, and I hope to see you guys back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about add-ons. One of the add-ons that I absolutely cannot live without is called Personal Assistant. If you don't have add-ons or you don't know where to get them from, this is the place for you. To start off, you can go to Google, you can type in Minion, you can download Minion, and then it's going to open up a little bit like this. Mine is obviously already populated because I utilize a lot of add-ons. So you'll go into Find More, type in Personal, and the very first one that comes up, you can hit install. Now keep in mind, a lot of add-ons have dependencies. Make sure that you go in and you look at the dependencies because you're going to need to add all of these as well. If you don't have Minion and you are starting from scratch, this is going to be super important to make sure that you do this. Otherwise, your personal assistant is not going to work. These are also found within Minion. What I like to do, because I have a dual monitor setup, is I will typically screenshot this, throw it over to my other screens so that I know which ones that I'm searching for. And then I will go into my Find More and I will start typing them in and downloading each dependency that is required for that particular add-on. Once that's finished, we dive into the game, and now we're going to fine tune it. Alright, so right off the hop, we are going to go into our inventory and we're going to set some parameters on what I want static in my inventory every time I log in. So I've kind of already set up my main character, but off the hop, I'm going to go in and I'm going to make sure that I have a certain amount of repair kits. I like to go with the crown repair kits because they do everything at once, and I keep 5 in my backpack at all times. So this rule has already been applied. Now, my main thing is I like the dubious. I'm going to always make sure that this is in my inventory for when I'm in more strong battles. I keep 5 at a time. Equipment repair kits, these are essential to keep in my backpack at all times. I typically keep 100. But for this instance, I'm going to change it to 50. I always keep tripod potions on hand, especially when I'm in harder content. And I'm going to keep 20 in my inventory at all times. Because my character is often stamina based for my alternate build, I am going to keep some more dungeon lower class food in my inventory as well. For this one, I'm going to use the lava foot soup and solstice. I also like to keep some trash pots in my inventory as well. We're going to keep 10. There's nothing else that I'm going to need from that, so we'll go into our miscellaneous. In here, I like to keep a couple of things. Obviously, lockpicks on me is very important. I'm going to keep 20. Soul gems, very, very important. We're going to keep 100. So I'm going to go over and check my settings, add-ons. We're going to go into the personal assistant, banking specifically. In here, you can keep all your banking rules. So you can go over them to make sure that you've got everything in your bank that you are going to want to keep in there. This sets the parameters. I have everything for this particular character that I want to keep in my bank at all times. I'm going to go into my inventory. show you that there's really nothing in my bank at the present time. Exit out of my inventory. As soon as I go into my banking assistant, right here, this cute little kitty, the moment I go into it, you're going to notice that your items have been stacked. That means that the banker has done its job. I'm going to scroll down, and as you can see, all the things that I previously set up in my parameters are showing up now in my bank. It's automatic. I don't have to think about it. The moment I open and close my bank, it automatically does this, along with a bunch of other parameters that I've already set up, which will be in another video. But this one in particular is crucial for my inventory. Alright, so now I'm in my healer build. I had predefined it so that it automatically loaded my Dakiri settings on everything. So right now I don't have anything in my inventory, but the moment that I open up my bank, you're going to see that my items have been stacked at the top here. Go to deposit, and all of those items are there now. So I'm going to want to fine tune this specifically to tailor to my healer. Go into my settings, my add-ons, pop down to banking. You can create multiple profiles, as I mentioned. So I'm going to go back to profile 2 here, and I'm going to rename it to this character name. I'd already copied it across the board using my account settings add-on, but you can copy them individually if you don't have that setting. Be careful with that add-on because sometimes it can overwrite things. I'll talk about that later. Now if I pop down to my banking rules, it's going to show me that this is what I've got it set up as. For my healer, I don't want this as a rule because I'm not going to need it. And then as well as my lava soup, that's a stamina-based food. I'm not going to need that either. I'm going to go back into my bank. I'm going to go to withdraw my consumables, and I'm going to find my Witch Mother's Potent Brew. I'm going to go to banking, and I'm going to activate a new rule. I'm going to tell my personal assistant how many I want it to keep in my inventory at all times. Double check my settings. Alright, so everything now is set up the way that I want it to be for my healer build. Go back into my inventory. Witch Mother is there. Dubious I didn't need. It was already pre-withdrawn. So we'll get rid of it. Get rid of that. Okay, so this is my tank. There's nothing in her inventory currently. My items have been stacked. It's automatically populated with my Dakiri settings. Again, I made it that way just in the initial so I could fine tune it. And I did that with my account settings add-on. So now I'll go down to my personal assistant banking feature. I'm going to create a profile for my tank. I'm going to label it as her character name. And now I'm going to go into the banking rules just to see what they are. For this one, I don't need lava and I don't need dubious, but all the other things that I need, which is why I copied it across the board, just to make this a little bit easier. If you want more information on the account settings add-on, I will make a video on it. But for my tank, I need to have Orzorga's Red Frothgar, so I'm going to make sure that I have 5 of that in my rules. And then I'm going to go up and get the other one that I need, which is Bewitched Sugar Skulls. I'm going to set the parameter to 5 as well. Pop back back into my settings. Check out my individual banking rules, and as you can see here, I've got everything set up for my tank build. Now if I go back into my bank and I look at my inventory, I'm going to just pop the things that I don't need out. And just for a little example here, we'll throw everything back into my bank just to show you exactly what it does. I had deposited all those by accident maybe, wasn't thinking about it, they're not in my bank anymore. The moment I go back into my bank, it automatically pulls them all out. And it actually have it so that it shows in my chat what it's done. So if I see something in here that I don't want it to do, I can correct it. But now everything I need is back in my bank. I didn't have to do, or sorry, it's back in my backpack and I didn't have to do anything. So this is my Archanist build. He's another DPS. He currently has nothing in his inventory. So if we pop into our add-ons, go down to banking, we'll create him a profile as well. I have 3 currently made, 1 for each character. Go down to my individual banking rules, and because he is a stamina based character, he already needs these items. He's very similar to my main character, being subclassed as an Arcanist. He is a pure Arcanist, but he has nothing in his inventory. I have not yet gone into the bank in order to populate my inventory. So I'll quickly go into my bank. My items have been stacked and they're all in my inventory. Super quick, super easy. All right, now I'm gonna log into my second tank. There's nothing currently in my inventory. I pop into a Zabi and it already populates. It has populated with Dakiri's settings. So I'm going to go into my add-ons. Toby is also already a tank, so I decided at the time to just put both of their names here. Go into my bank. It automatically does everything. Gonna get rid of the everything just to give you an idea of how it shows up. Now that I've got my tank build loaded, there's nothing here. Go into a Zabi. Everything's been stacked, and I've now got my tank profile set up on Strix. Now, this is another magic-based character that I have. There's nothing in my inventory. We'll go straight to my add-ons, straight to banking, create Cassandra her own profile. Gonna set it up so that she has a magic-based food on hand, which will be Witch Mother's Potent Brew. And then once I go into my bank, it automatically takes everything out now that I've set my parameters. So I have another stamina-based DPS. There's nothing in her inventory. Pop into our settings. Go to the add-ons. Banking. I'm going to create her very own profile. I'm going to load it from radar since he is a Arcanist and a stamina-based character. Go into my banking rules. I won't have to change anything at all because he needs pretty much the same thing as my main character, so she's done. Now if I go into my bank, It automatically transfers everything, and she's done. Super simple. Loading it from another profile to start off, super simple. Moving on to my other stamina-based DPS, Acheron. Straight to the profiles. Create him his own profile. I will also load this one from Radar. Since they are both stamina based, go down to my banking rules. Everything is exactly as I need it. Go into my bank, and everything has auto-populated based on my copied settings. Now I'm going to pop into my final DPS character, stamina based. Go right into the settings, add-ons, and banking. We're going to create her a new profile and name it as her name, which is Vasilissa. I just copied Radar's settings to Vasilissa's profile, go into my bank, and everything has perfectly populated based on my stamina-based DPS settings. Now, to make it a little bit easier on yourself, instead of classifying everybody as an individual character name, you could actually go back into your add-on menu, go down to baking, and you can rejig your profiles. So I'm going to name this one Stamina DPS instead of Radar. And I'm going to create a Magicka DPS profile instead of Cassandra. So now I've got a Stam DPS and a Mag DPS. I'm going to keep her on her original profile. Going to pop back into Soteria. We're going to select her as a stamina-based DPS. And then I'm going to delete her profile. Log back into my other stamina DPS, go into banking, change his profile to stamina DPS, and I'm going to delete his own profile. And then I'll pop back into my final stamina DPS. It appears that since I had already created or adjusted those previous settings, it already did it on hers. So I'm going to rename my tank profile, and I'm going to rename my healer profile while I'm in here. And then I'll make sure to set her back to stamina-based DPS, and I'm done. So as a really quick recap, I have now summarized or condensed all of my characters to have only a certain amount of profiles. I have my main, a healer, tank, stamina DPS, and mag DPS. This is going to be the easiest way to keep your inventory in check and in line if that's something that causes you grief in ESO. I hope this helps. Please make sure that you like and subscribe if you want more content like this.